as Dennis Lilly gets to the middle. The crowd urging Bob Willis on. Come on, Bob. A little before this time yesterday, English cricket was being buried. So Lilly a positive stroke to start his innings. 76 for 8. 54 needed, 2 wickets to fall. Another no ball. And I wonder what Dennis Lilly is saying to Ray Bright. Couldn't begin to guess. Well kept down, no gully, 1 run to Bright. And that's very effective indeed, 4 runs. That is, he's a most canny cricketer, Dennis Lilly. That was extremely clever thinking on his part. Quite deliberate uppercut.
Astonishing shot. He definitely gave it a lift. Over second slip.
And Braley's reaction to that is going to be to put a very fine third man just a few yards in from the boundary. Chris O coming down here, and you remember that there's also Graham Dilley further along to the right of the picture at square a third man, and fly slip took a wicket yesterday. Willis to Lilly. Oh, how did he keep that out?
And that's almost the first time Dennis Lilly's got the ball up in the batsman's half, and it very nearly got a wicket. Bob Willis, of course.
48 to win. Oh dear, oh dear. So Bob Willis, 13 overs, 3 maidens, 6 wickets for 30. And whatever else happens, you have to admire the tremendous powers of recovery of Bob Willis, whose career has been written off for dead time and again. He was under the surgeon's knife in the winter, having yet another knee operation, but who has one of the biggest hearts in cricket. 82 for 8. And Willis has taken 6 of the last 7 wickets, and don't forget, Australia were 56 for 1 at one point. So the last 7 wickets have fallen for 26 runs as Earl bowls to Bright. And gets runs. Should be 2, Gower after it. Lily wants it, Bright doesn't. Was it off the glove? We shall soon know. No, it was not. Gatting thought it was, and Dennis Lilly quick to rub a part well away from the wrist. And just shows the bruise, Dennis.
You don't have to go on, Dennis, we're convinced. And certainly hit him on the upper arm.
So that's when the coolness of umpires is vital to a batsman's chances. Umpire.
Yes, and he was comfortably underneath that.
More. 46 to win. And it is 6 not out.
I think between them, they've decided that if they're going to get any runs, they're going to have a dart at Chris Holt. I think anything reasonably well pitched up, I think we'll probably see Ray Bright and Dennis Lilly having a crack at it.
That's a good shot. Willis getting round in front of the pavilion, but they've got 2 runs. To reduce the target to 44. End of Chris Earl's over. And that is the extraordinary Australian second innings card, going in needing 130 to win and getting off to a good start. And then Wood going caught behind and the rot suddenly setting in just before lunch. And from 56 for 1, it has gone now to 86 for 8. Willis 6 for 30, the key figure as far as England are concerned, although Old keeping him very effective company at the moment. And now to take over the commentary at this fascinating point, Richie Benno.
And Bob Willis running in to Dennis Lilly.
4 runs to win and 2 wickets to win. Bob Willis is now in his 14th over. 6 for 30 at the moment. Probably going down the leg side, I would think. But there'll be a lot of excited shouts out there, and a lot from the crowd as well.
And here it comes, and definitely missing the leg stump. Get a better view there. Missing by, I would think, another stump's width.
A couple there for Dennis Lillee. David Gower doing the chasing. And a good piece of running and throwing. Lillee goes to 8, Bright is 7, 88 for 8. Didn't quite get that, and we'll get only 1. Peter Willey, the man at square. Dennis Lillee's overall test match figures are not great if you look at the average, but here and there he's played some valuable innings for Australia. Top score of 70-odd at Lords in 1975. That's right, 73 not out at Lords in 1975. 51 test matches. It's Ray Bright taking strike. The technique of these two is quite interesting. I think they've both decided that they're not likely to get anything in their half from Bob Willis. They're onto the back foot and trying to work the ball away on the onside just about all the time. 9 to each batsman. 91 for 8. At the test match average of 15 there for Ray Bright, but many fewer runs. It's a better ball. Quick piece of work from Bob Taylor, who's taken 4 catches in this innings. Wood Dyson, Trevor Chappell, and the last one was Lawson. And the last one he took gave him that record of 1,271 catches in first-class cricket. .92 for 8, just 2 double-figure scores there, 2 approaching it. Lillee and Bright. .38 to win for Australia, 2 wickets for England. Crissold. Fielded. And that's on his bad side as well, the right hand, the damaged hand for Peter Willey. Brave effort to stop what would certainly have been 2, might even have gone for 4. And you have only 38 runs to play with. It's a case of throw yourself at everything.
There it is, anywhere near to being pitched up. And I think these two batsmen are going to throw their bats.
The tactics on both sides are right, that these two have got to play as many strokes as they can, and England must keep the ball just as they can't quite drive. Oh, that's a good shot. That was very well picked up by Bright. It didn't get up all that much, and I don't think it was all that short either.
And Chris Holt dragging this one down a little, and Ray Bright onto it like a shot. Very, very good pull.
96 for 8. Bright goes to 13. Dilly's at mid-on. Yes, the batsmen have to play their shots, and the bowlers need to keep it just short of driving length. Pitch is unpredictable enough that the ball will move around off the seam, or perhaps play at varying heights. Didn't quite get that, I don't think. But he got it well enough to bang it into the fence. It's square. And again, I don't think it was all that bad a ball. It seemed to me to be picked up off around middle stump. Up comes the 100 for Australia. 100 for 8, 17 now to Bright. And 9 to Lilly, 30 to win.
And what a situation. These two have put on 25. And this is a super stroke. Just drifting perhaps a little bit down the leg side. Not really. He whipped it off the middle.
The outside edge. Boycott doing the fielding. Yes, with that previous ball, I was doing Chris Holt a bit of an injustice when I said it was probably pitching around middle and leg, because it started off on off stump and then cut in. So there's no real blame there for Old. 102 for 8, and Bright has gone to 19. 28 to win now. Lilly has made 9 and is taking strike. So now that a little bit of pressure is back on the England bowlers, what do this Australian pair have in mind? Do they keep on playing their shots, which has been successful so far? At the moment they came together, the score is 75, there's 27 been added. And the field now is scattered, that's how much extra pressure has been put on. Just 2 slips and a wide gully. Man behind square waiting for the hook. Botham's at gully. Peter Willie is in catching position, waiting for the miscued hook. He's just behind square leg. Some 15 to 20 yards behind the umpire and just behind the line of square. That's a good shot. It just couldn't have been placed better by Dennis Lilly. You wouldn't believe that the ball could get between Chris Holt and Graham Dilly down there on the boundary.
And a very good shot, this. Just ran it down there. Beautifully played and beautifully placed. Absolutely bisected the two people down there.
Well, those two men are very close down there, Graham Dilley and Chris Old. That's a good shot. The outfield is so quick, Dilley will be struggling to get that. And again, just beating the fielder by 2 yards. Now, does Mike Brearley have to go and have a chat with Bob Willis? The technique of ploughing it in short picked him up wickets early on. Does he now need to keep it up to the bat? $20 runs to win now. Well, no word from Brearley, other than to keep Graham Dilley a little squarer. Lilly is 17, Bright 19. Oh, what a good catch! And Lilly has miscued it to mid-on. Gatting didn't sight it to start with, couldn't pick it up in the background, then got it, and it needed a dive forward to take a great catch. 110 for 9, and the first one Willis got up into Lilly's half, produced the wicket. Lilly out for 17, caught Gatting, bowled Willis.
And a fine innings by Dennis Lilly. He put Australia back into this game. 75 for 8, and here he is, and Bob Willis for the first time pitches the ball up reasonably well, but Dennis is still on his back foot, and he goes to clip it over mid-on, and Mike Gatting, after a slow start, makes a magnificent effort and catches a great catch.
The last man for Australia comes in with 20 runs needed to win, Terry Alderman.
And here it goes again. You see Dennis is still on his back foot, and he tries to chip it through mid-wicket, I think. Gets a leading edge, and in the background Mike Gatting doesn't quite sight it to start with, and then makes a wonderful catch of it.
That was a good catch. Just imagine Gatting's feelings as he tried to sight the ball, knowing it was somewhere on its way towards him, and then he had to push off his left foot and try and make the ground. The shout's there for Bob Willis. It's come on Bob, who has just notched his best ever test match bowling figures. 20 to win for Australia, 1 wicket to win for England. Great performance this. 15 overs, 3 maidens, 7 for 43. And all the fairy tale endings, I suppose the real one would be for Ian Botham to take the final wicket. He's done so much in this game so far with 6 for 95, 50, 149 not out, and 1 for 14 to date. 110 for 9. Still 20 to win. Ray Bright has strike. Everyone has gone around the boundary as they were for Botham when he batted. They're going to allow Bright to take the single. So on the leg side, there's a man at deep fine leg, deep backward squares, a deep mid wicket and a long on. We're going to be 2 slips. Then there's the third man, cover and mid off on the fence, both of them to Bright. The gaps for Ray Bright are on the offside really, between point and third man, and between point and long off. Just 3 men on the offside, apart from the 2 slips, waiting to pick up this 10th wicket. That'll take the single there, take it down to 19 to win. Moment for the last man in, Terry Alderman, who just a few months ago was back in Perth going through a Sheffield Shield match that won the Shield for Western Australia. Here he is now in with 1 wicket to fall and 19 runs needed to win. Both them to Alderman. Got him. Oh, no, he's put him down. Crisol. It looked to me as though he was flicking that up. Third slip.
Certainly appeared to carry this one, and Chris seemed to have it absolutely under control. But it's gone out. Well, there's been one great catch by Graham Dilley in this crucial situation. Those vital catches matter so much.
Still 19 to win and 1 wicket. Well, it seemed to go into Crisol's very safe hands and looked to be on its way up in the air. A little flick up, a flick of triumph, and it actually went to ground. That carried as well. It's just as well as not Keith Fletcher. Ian Botham finishes his over. 7 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 14. Still 19 to win. And that's how it happened.
Well, again, a far harder catch, low to his wrong hand, but it has carried, and again it looked as though he'd moved so well to this ball. Chris, oh look, he's seen that, he's gone miles for it, and he's just in fact gone an inch too far. It's just hit the palm of his hand rather than the fingers.
2 drop chances and no runs off that over. Nothing off the bat, just the leg by to reduce the Australian target to 19. Everyone's back for Ray Bright. Oh, and it is one of the most fantastic victories ever known in Test cricket history. Bob Willis, 8 wickets, a fabulous performance. England have won this match after one of the most astonishing fightbacks you could ever see. An incredible performance to square the series, the Australians having won at Trent Bridge. The second was drawn at Lord's. And in the third Cornhill Test here at Headingley, England have won an incredible victory. The margin is 18 runs. Ray Bright bowled Willis for 19. Alderman remained not out, no score. And this last wicket is one that will be remembered for a long, long time.
Well, Bob Willis taking his life in his hands. He's just smashed it in at the middle stump. And he'll remember that sight for a long time.
Wood was out for 10, Dyson 34, Chappell 8, Hughes no score, Yallop no score, Border no score, Marsh 4, Bright 19, Lawson 1, Lilly 17, and Alderman not out, no score. 111, including 18 extras. And the bowling figures: RGD Willis, 15.1, 3, 43, 8. Ian Botham 1 for 14, Chris Old 1 for 21, Graham Dilley none for 11, and Peter Willey no wicket for 4.
Well, I said this morning, the way Willis was running in, that I'd expect him to get wickets. I don't think anybody could have expected such a fantastic return. It all started when he was switched from running up the hill, where he'd been no-balled once or twice. I think he went to the captain. He may have even asked for the downhill end. And the moment he went up to the Kirkstall Lane end, he was a totally different bowler. He was very quick, very aggressive. And here he is, the wicket that won the third Cornhill Test for England. And the middle pole goes straight out of the ground, and look at Willis's absolute ecstasy.
The story of the match: Australia, having won the toss and batted, 401 for 9 declared. England 174 and 356. Australia 111. England won by 18 runs. In the Australian innings, just 4 men reached double figures. The England team, led by Mike Brearley, come out for the presentation of the awards for this Cornhill Test. And the match award to be presented by former England fast bowler Fred Truman. Joe Lister in the foreground, the Secretary of Yorkshire.
Turn this way.
Mr. Alan Martin presenting the cheque for £1,750 to Mike Brearley.
All umpires in the Cornhill series receiving medallions. They have already been presented to the other 2 umpires, and if the umpires are not here in a moment, we will give them to them presently. There is also a presentation scheduled of another Cornhill commemorative medallion to the head groundsman, Mr. Keith Boyce. The divisional manager of Cornhill Insurance now makes the presentation to the 2 umpires, Barry Mayer and David Evans, receive their commemorative medallions. And now the medallion medallion to the head groundsman, Keith Boyce. A cheque for £350 accompanied by a Cornhill medallion for the player of the match, and here to make his adjudication forward up is a Coach Clement.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a test match. That's fantastic. There has been some great performances. That 100 by John Dyson, that 89 by Kim Hughes, 58 by Graham Yallop, wicket-keeping record for Rod Marsh, a wicket-keeping record for Bob Taylor, funny. And an all-round performance, which I think is one of the best I've ever seen in Test cricket. In my opinion, a captain's performance that came one match too late. Ian Botham.
That concludes the formal part of the ceremony.
A marvellous scene here at Headingley. Not a vast crowd here to see history made in this third test match, but my word, they were very enthusiastic and they've stayed on, and why wouldn't they?
The last occasion which a side won, having followed on, was in 1894.
That's the new scoreboard at Headingley. You couldn't have got a message like that on the old one.
Mike, I don't know quite what adjective to use. It has to be one of the most fantastic victories in all Test match history.
You said it. They say it too.
I mean, what are your thoughts looking back? Because when you followed on, you were almost as dead as a dodo. You were 105 for 5, and look what's happened now.
I don't really think about it, you know. It's, I don't know, Ian Botham, they called him Jessup in the papers today. I mean, it was the most remarkable innings I've ever seen, I should think, in the Test match. We didn't bowl very well those first 2 days, did we?
Not very. The out cricket let you down a bit.
Yeah, I think it was a good pitch to bowl on throughout, and 200 wasn't a bad score. 170 wasn't a bad score, and we got 350.
Right, let's go back to the first thing this morning, Mike. You were all out for 356. They wanted 130 to win, and Ian Botham said to me on this balcony last night, if we get another 50, it's going to be interesting. So what were your thoughts when you went out there?
Obviously, we wanted more runs if we possibly could, but you never knew. I mean, if you get your tail up on that wicket, really, it's jolly hard to bat, and I think Bob Willis bowled an inspired spell. I mean, it's like the Bob Willis of a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. What an achievement, though. He came back had an operation in the winter, came back from the tour. Nobody thought he'd play for England again. He's got 8 for nothing.
Magnificent. And what about the catches? 1 or 2 vital catches held at crucial moments?
Good catches. Graham Dilly's wasn't the worst, was it, on the boundary?
Nor that one at mid-on.
The one at mid-on, Mike, and his other one at short leg, Mike Gatting. Yeah. Terrific.
But what an astonishing transformation we have, because not so long ago you were facing a situation where you were going to be 2 down, 3 to go, and Australia were well on the way to winning back the Ashes. Now the whole thing is open again. It's made the series.
I'll see them at the next test.
Now a little champagne, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Thanks very much.
Tremendous.
Thank you.
Past captain of England on the left, present captain of England on the right.
Kim, it's always nice for the losing captain to come out. Think you might have got a bit of competition here, Kim.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see what develops. But thank you for coming. Can we have a bit of a hush for the losing skipper? It's been very nice of him to come out here, ladies and gentlemen. Kim, what can I say? What do you want to say to Mike Brearley at the end of a most incredible match of cricket?
Well, naturally, we were very, very disappointed, but I thought England played very, very well indeed in the last two sessions in particular, and they deserved their victory. Naturally, as I said, we're very disappointed because apart from really the session this afternoon and a bit before lunch, and then when Both played so very, very well in the last session yesterday, I thought we put in a very good performance. But I mean, the great thing is that the people enjoyed the game. Obviously, it was great for cricket, and I'm sure that's what I'm really proud of.
That's very handsomely said when you were on the brink of going 2 up with 3 to play and rather relishing the prospect.
Yes, yeah, but one felt that even chasing on 130, that if England had a little bit of luck earlier on, you know, in our first innings we got 401 and we played with a lot of luck, and Bob, I don't think, bowled any better today than he did in the first innings. I think that the ones we played at, and for the people that don't understand, I think Bob bowled just as well in the first innings as he did in the second innings. But I think the thing is, what I'm trying to get across was that in the first innings, the batsman played and missed a lot, and the luck went our way. In the second innings, the first ball we played and missed at, we got a nick, and that's the way the game goes. And I think, whilst it did turn out to be a good game, it was just a bit of a raffle in just whether you're going to get a nick earlier on and that sort of thing. But congratulations to England, but there's still another 3 tests to go, and I think it's set the scene for a very, very interesting sort of another couple of months.
I can't let you depart, Kim, without a word about the turning point in this incredible contest, which of course was when Ian Botham was smashing you round the park here.
I think, as I said, Both's sort of gone through a trough for a long while, and we've had a little bit of luck, I suppose, in the first, for the first 2 tests, and then for the first 3 days, everything has gone our way, I think, most of the time. And all of a sudden, everything went Both's way in a real big hurry, and he's a sort of guy that, even when he mishits them, he's got such brute strength that he hits through the ball so well. And there wasn't really much we could do. You know, I thought our bowlers still bowled just as well as we did the first innings, but things were going his way, and he played particularly well. And he's one of the few players in the world that can do that to any sort of attack in the world. And unfortunately, it's not coming for us.
Well, all I'd like to say on behalf of everybody out here, all these lovers of cricket who've been standing out here, Kim, is to say thank you very much for coming and talking to us, Kim. We look forward to seeing you later. Here indeed is Ian Botham. Ian, I seem to spend my life talking to you. It was a great joy talking to you on this balcony last night, and now you've had time to reflect about it all. You've had a magnificent and unpredictable victory. What are your feelings looking back on it all?
Not bad.
It's always difficult for an interview when you get a monosyllabic or duosyllabic answer. You must be able to add a bit of that.
Obviously, you know, I checked out of the hotel yesterday morning, and perhaps that's the secret. I don't know.
Well, maybe I can get you to talk about the bowling of your colleague Bob Willis.
Yeah. He's flaked out in the bath at the moment. I don't blame him. It was tremendous, absolutely magnificent piece of bowling, and it was great to see Bob come back and prove all his critics wrong this winter when they wrote him off.
When I talked to you, Ian, last night on this balcony after that superb 100, you said, well, if we can get another 50, it might be interesting. And in fact, you got another 4 or 5, didn't you?
Well, that made it even more interesting.
So what was the mood of the England team when you went out and you knew you only had 130 runs to play with?
Well, we knew the wicket's been a little bit unpredictable all match, to put it mildly, and we felt that if we could get an early breakthrough, anything could happen. And Australia seemed to be going along quite steadily, and then Bob bowled that over, those 3 wickets just before lunch, and it was that was the turning point, really.
Right.
And also, just another thing, we caught them. That helped.
Yes, including you.
Yeah, including me. Yeah, I got off the mark. It's just Gucci to go now.
That was a lovely catch you took. Well, how do you see the rest of the series then? All square, 3 to play.
Well,
somebody's come out in the balcony. It might be Willis to Willis.
no, I said all along that I said all along that this Australian side had been written off by a press before they even arrived here, which was ludicrous because they're a good side. And mind, we were written off the other night, weren't we? What were we? Pathetic, bottom of the barrel or something, England. But
Thought you said you checked out of the hotel.
but we proved it right. He's lovely, isn't he?
Ian, God bless you for coming out. Best of luck for the rest of the series. And as all-round performances go, as Fred Truman said, we haven't seen many like it. Marvellous. Very good.
It wasn't a great wicket to bat on, and thanks to Ian's magnificent contribution, we had a little bit to bowl at, and things went well for us during the period just before lunch, and managed to get the breakthrough, and it was always going to be a struggle batting on there.
The decisive over was the one that you bowled and got Kim Hughes and Graham Yallop out. That last over before lunch, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I told Mike I was a bit too old to be bowling into the wind, so I better bowl the other end.
How many Test careers do you reckon you've had, Bob? You've been written off a time or two and have come back in tremendous triumph. Every time people say you're due for a pension, you come up with the goods again.
Well, until you retire, Peter, I haven't got any other job to do, you see.
Well done. Tell you what, I've got him looking cheerful again, haven't I? Tremendous. Thanks a lot, Bob.
Okay.
Oh, what an incredible game of cricket, and what an astonishing victory for England that was. This game has to go down in just a handful of really great Test matches I've seen as a player and a commentator. A marvellous match, and all the participants played a hand in the excitement over the 5 days. Spare a quick thought for the Australians, Lilly and Marsh and Hughes and Dyson, who did so well during the game. For the England players, Willis, his 8 wickets today, an astonishing performance that, and both of them men of the match. And a particular thought for England captain Mike Brearley, who was really looking down the barrel at one stage in this his comeback match as captain of the England side, and finished up becoming only the second skipper in the history of the game to win a Test match after being asked to follow on. So he takes the England side to Edgbaston for the 4th Test in this Cornhill series. It should be an absolute cracker.